Welcome to Historical Research, the program that explores the past to discover fascinating stories, civilizations, and cultures that have shaped our world. In today's episode, we embark on a captivating journey to the time to explore the five major civilizations that form the basis of the England and its rich English culture. Join us as we unravel the remarkable stories of the past and illuminate the historical roots that reach into the present. Through the show, we will interview renowned historians, visit archaeological sites, and showcase artifacts that provide a glimpse into the lives of achievements of this civilization. So sit back, relax, and prepare to immerse yourself in the captivity story of enduring legacies of the top five civilizations that form the bedrock of England and its remarkable English culture.
The youth might also be some of story of July, the foundation on the source, were the Germanian people who, according to B, were one of the three the most powerful Germanian people of the Iron Age, the other to being the Saxon and Ingles. The Jews, the mighty migration between 10, 13, and 9 centuries on Henry towards the mouth of the Rhine River to try participate in countless battles had the art of the Germanic invasions to English territory.
The Saxons. The Saxons were a confederation of ancient Germanic tribes ethno-linguistically linked to the Western Branch. Their earliest known area of settlement of northern Albania. Territory roughly corresponds to the modern-day Holstein. Geographical location. Initially, the Saxons inhabited the German federated state of Schleswig-Holstein. Later, the Saxons migrated south, settling in what is now the German state of Lower Saxony. In the early 5th century, when the Romans lost control of the island of Britannia, the Saxons, along with another German tribes, Angles and Jutes, seized the opportunity to make the island of Britannia their new home. Origins. The Saxons were a tribal settled in the territory between the River Ave and the North Sea. The region mentioned by Ptolemy corresponds to present-day Schleswig-Holstein in Germany. Therefore, as this is the oldest known literary mention of the Saxons, Holstein is considered to be the place of origin of the Saxons. Politics. In general, the political organization of the Saxons was a monarchical. Initially, the Saxon monarchy was not as strictly hereditary, although this didn't mean that there was not kinship between a Saxon king and his predecessor.
The Angles derive from the Latin word angli, meaning narrow waters. In Germany was first recorded in Tacitus Germania in 98 AD. Another meaning of the word was fishing hook, which suggests that fishing must have been the main occupation of the Anglo tribe. Member of a Germanic people which, together with the Jutes, Saxons, and probably the Frisians, invaded the island of Britain in the 5th century CE. According to Tacitus, the Angles were the first Germanic tribes that came to Britain. They belonged to the Suevi group of tribes who worshipped Nerthus or Mother Earth. The Angles, an ancient Germanic tribe that inhabited the northeastern coast of Germany and the central part of the Jutland Peninsula at the beginning of our era, gradually migrated west from what is now Poland about the 1st century AD until By the first century, they had settled in modern central Denmark, replacing the Germanic Cimbri and Teutons who had existed there in diminished numbers since before the first century BC. The Angles introduced their native language, English, which later developed into the Old English and was even used by the Saxons, and also they gave their name to England as well as to the word Englisk, used even by the Saxon readers also to denote their vernacular tongue.
The Celts were a group of tribes that lived in the central and western part of Europe. Their existence is dated from the 8th century to the 1st century BC, when they were eradicated by the Romans. These were peoples characterized by great ferocity and in the fight. Among them, they shared similar customs and language. Their common language, Celtic, this speech is a branch of the Indo-European family of language. Scholars have divided the Celtic language into two groups, Insular Celtic and Continental Celtic. The latter ceased to be used in most places from the period of Imperial Rome. This way a polytheistic religion with a multitude of gods, although our knowledge of them is limited to that of classical authors, given the lack of works written by the Celts themselves. Celtic art, as mentioned above, was influenced by and via other indigenous Iron Age cultures, neighboring cultures, and those of their trading partners, such as the Thracians, Scythians, Greeks, Etruscans, and Romans, of Near Eastern ideas. The material used include clay, stone, iron, bronze, and gold.
The Druids conduct religious rites, but also serve as a judge, healer, and scholar teaching children and mediating conflict between Celtic tribes. Their studies began as a child, memorizing the countless details necessary to perform their many roles, since the Druids' knowledge was considered too sacred to record it in writing. They spend years studying in Britain, and then they go to small towns like Gaul and what is now France. Despite the Druids have the option to have family, this could take place when they left their Druid position. Ancient civilizations hold immense significance for modern life, serving as a foundation upon which our present society has been built. These ancient cultures have shaped or influenced our understanding of various aspects of life, providing invaluable contribution to continue to impact us today. Furthermore, ancient civilization serves as a living history books, grounding us insight into our collective heritage. By studying the remains of this civilization, we gain a deeper appreciation for our cultural roots and a better understanding of the social, political, and economic dynamics that have shaped our present-day societies. They provide us with a varied perspective of the achievements, struggles, and aspirations of our ancestors, fostering a sense of connection and community.
Thanks for watching!